Hi, everyone. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today to discuss U.S. immigration. Taking your questions live and recorded. You'll catch us on YouTube. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell to get notifications where we have live Q&A chats, a lot of different videos here, and on the backup channel, JQK Immigration Clips, where we have hundreds of 1-minute videos, 2-minute videos that talk about certain topics. But with that, let's get it started. When you are a U.S. citizen, if you stay outside the United States for too long a period of time, it could be considered abandonment. However, historically, if you are able to re-enter the United States and the Customs and Border Protection, the CBP officers let you in, and then you wait like 5 years, you can file for citizenship. And that period outside the country was normally, not always, but normally not held against you. But 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, the president, maybe it was late, like November 30th, they updated the policy for USCIS that said throughout the history of having your green card, if you had long absence outside the United States or you're not living here, that could lead to your green card to be not your citizenship case not only to be denied, but your green card taken away through the removal proceeding process. They'll send you to court for immigration judge to kick you outside. So we have a case where a person 20 years ago spent a year outside the country. They want to file for citizenship now. I said there's a risk they might go back and say 20 years ago you were outside for too long, and that's a problem. So it's kind of mind-boggling how strict potentially things will come. Hopefully, this is one of those things that President Biden will change up because it is such a nasty situation to have that. Because a lot of people might have situations, they went to their home country, a parent was sick, or some business issue happened. They're stuck there 7 months, 8 months, maybe a year and a month. They were able to come back. CBP, the port authorities, let them back in. They lived here, had kids, start a family, have work, have a house, a lease, all this kind of stuff. And then 5, 10, 15 years later, you're going to take away the green card because of that. That's just unfair. But that's how things look like right now in the USCIS policy manual. That's one of the first things I hope the new administration changes because it's a disaster. Is perm filing EB3 banned? My visa category EB3 waiting interview. My case is stuck at the embassy at 31st of January, priority date. Well, we have to see what's going on your priority date, but in general, President Trump extended the travel ban for employment-based cases. It affects a lot of different categories, but including the EB3 category, employment-based third preference, until the end of March. So because President Trump said we're worried that foreign people are going to come here and take away jobs while the COVID-19 coronavirus is happening, unless you can get a waiver exception for your particular case, they're not going to probably schedule the interview for your case because they can't approve it. So that if you have your case at the embassy on hold, it's going to stay until at least March 31st until they change things because EB3 is on the COVID-19 ban list for getting those kind of visas issued. Sorry, may I wish, but yeah, you'll have to wait a little longer. Shiva, student visas are open for USA from India. If you're a new student visa holder, you plan on getting a student visa right now, and you want to go to the embassy, the general rule, there's a lot of nuances, so I can't go into all of it, but a new student visa holder has to have a course that's live to be able to get the visa. So if you haven't had the visa before, you're not a student visa holder in the United States in March of 2020, if you want to start a new course, you have to show that the courses will be in person. I can't remember if all of them or half of them or some in person. I can't remember exact rules, but it has to be, your school has to have their courses in person to a certain extent. And so if you don't have that, they're going to deny and not give you the visa. But from India, you should be able to at least go do your interview for a student visa. It's not banned, and it is open right now. Donya asks, Happy New Year. What evidence can someone give for a bona fide marriage if each in a different country? Well, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. I have some information on there. It's a free guide, no-cost ebook that I have. Just go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It's 41 pages, chock full of information. But there's things you could show if your spouse is living in a foreign country and you need to show that you have a relationship. So you have travel records to see each other. So you have plane tickets and stuff. You may have gone to the same country for a vacation. So maybe you both go and fly to Paris together. We have tickets and photos that show you there. You have letters from family and friends that can say we attest that this relationship is real and we believe it, all that kind of stuff. We support it. You may have bank accounts, maybe may not together in the foreign country in the United States. The other things are we got to just dive deep in your relationship to see what kind of coupley stuff you have. You might have written birthday cards or happy anniversary cards to each other. We can show those as examples that you're regularly getting cards to each other. And then there's just a lot of stuff. You've got to dig in your relationship to see what's there, to see, how we could show that this is a real relationship. And it usually works out. Okay, Ricky Silvas, Happy New Year. My wife and I filed for adjustment of status from an F1 visa to an alien to relative by I-485. I got returned for insufficient funds, but we matched all the fees. What was on the USCIS? So, Ricky, there's two things. Maybe you just did the raw funds wrong. I don't know. I haven't seen the amounts of the check that you did. I don't know what you submitted. Normally, it's 1,760. I don't know what you did. It could be something different in your particular case. But that's but USCIS does miss mistakes. It's not the first time I heard would be hearing that USCIS returned a case inappropriately. I've seen that happen before. It's not the first time. So America still has a program where I have to sign up to potentially be in the military if the U.S. goes to war. It's called the Selective Service. And so when you're 18, I was born here. So as soon as I turned 18, I had to sign up for them. And everyone has to do that. It's not talked about much, so not everyone knows. In high school, I just remember one of my teachers told me, and I went and did it. But if you're a foreign person who's here, if you came in illegally or you have a green card or U.S. citizen, you have to file for it between the age of 18 and 26, even if you're here illegally. Now, if you're here on like a student visa or if you're here on some sort of non-immigrant visa, which shows you're a foreign person, you're just here for temporary purposes, you don't have to do that. But in all other cases, you have to file for it. If you don't do it intentionally, it's a crime. But they're easygoing because how are you going to prove intent on that? The problem that pops up is, imagine you're 24, get married to a U.S. citizen, get your green card at age 20, like at 24, let's say. You're supposed to sign up for the Selective Service draft. If you didn't and you're not signed up, then you won't be able to file for citizenship until you're 31 years old. So it delays the process of getting citizenship. Now, when you do adjustment of status, the process for getting a green card from within the United States, many times USCIS will automatically sign you up for the Selective Service. Also, in many states in the United States, when you sign up for your driver's license, you can sign up, and you do sign up for the Selective Service as well. But the thing is, not all USCIS offices will do it automatically, and not every DMV or motor vehicle department will do it automatically. So you have to check, you have to know to do it and do it. Now, for people to get through the embassy, they get their green cards after an embassy interview. They don't do it. So the embassy is supposed to give you a piece of paper that says, hey, here you go, a reminder, sign up for the Selective Service. But they don't always do that. So you got to keep an eye out on this stuff. And it's all online. Just type in Selective Service online. The information is there. You can learn about it. If you go to their website, you type in like your social security number, your date of birth, they'll tell you whether you signed up or not. It's all there, but it's not something talked about a lot, so many people don't know about it. So it's very important you know about the Selective Service and what effects it can have on citizenship. And for example, if you're going to get a student loan, they won't give it to you if you haven't signed up for a Selective Service if you're going for federal student loan. So there's more that goes into it. I just want people to be aware of it to avoid this kind of issues popping up. With regards to other things on citizenship, we have a lot of time when people mistakenly claim to be a U.S. citizen. They do this by, when they get a job, they say they're a U.S. citizen when they're not. They may register to vote or vote and all this kind of stuff. If you claim to be a U.S. citizen when you're not a U.S. citizen to get a benefit, and then game over. That's like committing murder for immigration. It's really almost impossible. Very rare cases where that can be fixed or waived. For the most vast majority of people, if the government finds out that you claim to be a U.S. citizen and you're not, then it's a good chance you're going to get deported from the United States. So even as a joke in this stage, it's like a bad word. Don't claim to be a U.S. citizen until you have a naturalization certificate or you get your certificate of citizenship, whatever it is, whatever proof that you have that you're actually a citizen, you got to do that. David asked, but the Supreme Court ruling, is DACA permanent? No, the Supreme Court didn't make a ruling on DACA. What happened is DACA is deferred action for child arrivals. The Supreme Court said that the president's administration has to redo their paperwork to be able to remove DACA. But then a lower court said, no, there's some issue with DACA. The whole thing's back on again. So the Supreme Court hasn't made a final decision on that. And there's no ruling by the Supreme Court that would keep DACA permanently open or closed. It just said the government has to redo the paperwork. But then a lower court said something differently. Maybe another court will undo that. It's just a mess. We'll have to see what happens. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on our live. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. If you'd like to download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, get the strategy and idea behind an immigration case for a marriage, or really family even, go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com and then schedule a consultation in my office. Just email me saying, please schedule a consultation. This is my case, and just explain what your case situation is so I have an idea of what's going on. There are fees for it, but that's why I want to know what your case is first to see if I could generally help you or not. The email is info@jqklaw.com. And with that, thank you everyone who joined. God bless. Be safe. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed this educational video. We have a second channel with much more information as well at JQK Immigration Clips. Please check that out. Also, you'll find our social media site has a lot more videos, images, and information about the U.S. immigration process. Please check those out on the various social media websites.